relationship is only in the long run. And even that relationship in the long run is not understood clearly. We know there is a relationship, but it's very hard to figure out the lags and the impact in this case. Think about it this way. Oil is priced in dollars. Worldwide, it's priced in dollars. For the oil-producing countries, they sell their oil, they get dollars. The problem is that dollar is declining. And if they buy from Europe, then whatever they import is becoming more expensive. So if you compare oil to what they are buying, they need more oil to buy the same amount of goods and services. So their purchasing power declines. And that lowers the amount available for investment in the oil sector. And that reduces production. The same thing for companies. Companies operate around the world. They sell their oil in dollars. And they pay wages in the North Sea or in Africa. They pay wages in the local currency. If the dollar is going down, then their cost is going up. And if their cost is going up, they cut on production. Therefore, lower dollar reduces oil supplies in the long run. But oil prices also increase demand outside the United States. Because as oil prices go up in dollar, they don't go up in euro by the same percentage. They don't go up in yen by the same percentage. Just to give you a piece of information on this, when oil was close to 150, in Japan, they paid more than 150 in 1973, or the equivalent of more than 150 in 1973. So while prices were record in the United States, they were not record in Japan, and they look at it as cheap. And we know when things are cheap, people buy more and demand goes up. Look at it in Europe. Here are prices in the United States and Europe after adjusting for the exchange rate. And if you look at it up to 2005, just right here, prices were record in, and the top one, the green, is the United States, and the red one, basically, that's Europe. Up to 2005, prices were record in the United States, but they were not record in Europe relative to 2000. Prices in 2000 were higher. And even if you look at record prices at the top, look at the amount of the increase from the period when the dollar was equal to the euro. United States, the increase in the United States was double. The increase in prices in the United States was double that of Europe. That's why we did not see those countries reacting to higher oil prices. So that's the impact of the dollar. When we talk about speculation, some of you may have followed what's been going on in the Senate and the investigation and the questioning and the testimonies of various people. Whenever we talk about speculation, we need to show a theory first and then see whether the numbers support that theory or not. You cannot just play the numbers and come up with opinions and there is no theory to back it up. For example, my best example of this is this. You take the numbers in the United States, you look at them, and you find out there is perfect correlation between the number of cats and the number of traffic lights in any town in the United States. Does that mean anything? There is no meaning. So you don't take numbers unless there is a theory to support it. They have no meaning. But that's true. Numbers show that. In any country, there is a relationship between the amount of gasoline consumed and the number of cars. Now, can you say that because we have more gasoline, we have more cars? Or because we have more cars, we have more gasoline? So we have to focus on the causality, not on the correlation. In this case, we have to come up with a theory, then check the numbers, look at causality, and try to find out. Correlation means nothing. They did not do that in Washington. If you do the causality test, you find out that oil prices go up first, and then speculators follow. They never been ahead of the prices. Every single month, every single week, prices go up first, and then speculators follow. Let's remember what is the role of speculators. Speculators fish for information around the world, and then gather this information with its analysis, and they bring it to the market. And through this process, they agree on prices, and this is what we call price discovery. We discover what is the price in the future because speculators bring all this information for us from around the world, and then they form the price based on that. So let's think about it for a moment. If prices go up, do they go up because of the information that is coming through the speculations, or because of the speculation itself? That's why the title, Don't Shoot the Messenger. Because speculators are messengers carrying information to the market. So they cannot affect the market. That's the theory behind it. And if you really think about it, if market participants expect higher prices tomorrow, what will happen? People buy more because they want to save money, and they store that commodity. The word store here is very important. They store it. And sellers, because they know they can make more money tomorrow, they store commodity too. So what speculators do? Speculators buy on the demand side and store, and then they move to the supply side and sell. So whatever they bought here, they sell it here. This happens only in the short run. No one is going to store oil for 20 years or 3 years and sell it after 3 years. They lose money. So the role of speculators here is different from the buyers who are storing, is different from the sellers who are storing. But notice that they store. And speculators in the paper market do not store. That's the net long positions of speculators in the oil market. So when we talk about speculation, this is the line we need to look at. If speculations have a role, the first thing we should see is we should see that correlation between prices, and it has to be a positive correlation where prices and net speculation has to go up, and when they go down, they have to go down. We have to see that. But even if you do that and you look at correlation, we don't see it, and the arrows basically point to that. They go inversely. So where is the role of speculation in this case? We may see it sometimes, but to make a theory out of it and to make a big fuss out of it in the Senate, we should see a better picture and better correlation than this one. This one, that whatever happened in the Senate will not stand in court. And you cannot sue anyone based on that because the evidence are not there. I'm going to skip this one here. Now, let's look at the alternative. If speculators were not responsible, who is responsible? Is it China? Is it India? Well, we cannot blame China and India. And anyone who blames China and India, basically, they are looking at the wrong reason. Why? For two reasons. First, it is natural for demand to increase when the population is going up and income is going up. So in the market, we are not concerned with something natural. We are concerned with something that does not make sense. So it makes sense when income is going up, the population is going up, it makes sense for demand to go up. So the second reason is we have forgotten that the reason we have a boom in China and India is because of the outsourcing from the United States and Europe and Japan, and those American factories, Japanese factories, European factories moved to China and Japan and increased demand for energy. So this is part of that increase is transferred demand. Otherwise, that demand would have been here or in Europe. That means all this talk about this massive increase in demand in China, that does not make sense, because if they don't grow that way, then those factories would have been in the United States and consuming energy too. So let's look at the other view and how market fundamentals basically affected the market. The dark line that's going up here, these are oil prices. The top one is non-OPEC production, and the bottom one, the green one, is OPEC production.